Sorry guys, it's like 10 o'clock p.m. right now and I'm a little bit tired, so I'm kind of mixing up my words. I do know English, I swear. So the biggest craze in palettes recently has been cheek product. So even more so right now around the holidays, a bunch of brands are coming out with cheek palettes. For anybody who's not familiar with what a cheek palette is, it's basically just like an eyeshadow palette except for, ooh, excuse me, cheek products. So like blush, bronzer, highlighter, everything that goes on your cheeks. And I am not complaining that there's so many of these. I am loving these recently. So for the holidays, I picked up 3 limited edition cheek palettes that I've kind of been talking about in videos here and there, and a bunch of requests have been given to me for, hey, can you review that? Can you show me swatches of that? Can you tell me more about that? So I figured I would put it all into one video and just let you guys know about all of the limited edition holiday cheek palettes that are out right now. Alright, so the first palette, the getting them all mixed up. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush Palette. I used this and I think it was a tutorial a couple of weeks ago. I'll post that in the comment section down below if I can find the tutorial. But I absolutely adore ambient lighting blushes. I'm getting everything mixed up here. I absolutely adore Hourglass products. I adore their blushes, and this was like the best of both worlds for me because it has 3 of their blushes all in one palette. So this runs you $58. You can buy it at Sephora. Actually, you can buy all of these at Sephora. So this one is $58. It does have the 3 different blushes in it. I would say of all of the palettes, this one is probably the most luxurious one. So if you're looking for a very luxurious gift for a very high-end makeup brand, I definitely recommend this one. The blushes themselves are just absolutely stunning. They have the ambient lighting powders kind of swirled in with the blush colors. They're pigmented, but not too pigmented. They're just absolutely beautiful. You get 3 different colors here. So the first one is like this mauve-y brownish beige color called Mood Exposure. This one is absolutely gorgeous. It would look great on every single skin tone. The middle one here is called Incandescent Electra. This one is it's limited edition. It's specific to this palette, so you can only buy this one in the palette. The other 2 you can buy individually on their own. But this one is just this really pretty orangey coral color. It looks very pigmented in the pan, but it looks gorgeous on your cheeks. And the last one up here is Luminous Flush. This one is just a pretty like rosy pink color. All of them are absolutely stunning. I feel like they would look really good on lots of different skin tones. The downside, and if you read the reviews online of this palette, is that it doesn't show up on like really, really dark skin. The second one is the NARS Holiday Cheek Palette. So this is the Virtual Domination Cheek Palette. This is the only palette that has a bronzer in it. All the others are just blushes. So this one has 4 blushes, one of which can be used as a highlighter, and then a bronzer right here. So the bronzer is their typical Laguna bronzer. So this is just a standard bronzer. Everybody loves it. It's matte. It's perfect. It's like a mid-tone brown, not too light, not too dark. And then the blushes are Miss Liberty right here, which is the sparkly kind of beigey one right here. Actually, is that right? Yeah, that's right. So Miss Liberty, and then you have Sex Fantasy right here, which is like this brownish color. I'm sorry, not brownish. I'm sorry guys, it's like 10 o'clock p.m. right now and I'm a little bit tired, so I'm kind of mixing up my words. I do know English, I swear. So Miss Liberty right here, which is just a very pretty like sparkly beige color. You can definitely use it as a blush. I personally like to use it as a highlighter. I'm actually wearing it today right on top of my blush as a highlighter, and it's absolutely gorgeous. The sparkles are like silver tiny flecks, so really, really pretty. And then you have a blush right here that I've actually never seen before. I don't know if it's limited edition to the palette or not, but this one is called Sex Fantasy, and it is like this kind of baby pinkish purple colored blush. It's absolutely stunning. I've worn it once on my cheeks. I've only had this one for about 2 weeks, but I did wear this one once on my cheeks and it's absolutely gorgeous. It'll be really pretty for the springtime. And then you have this one down here, which is like the pinky coral, pinky coral color, and this one you can buy on its own for sure. I know that. This one is called Deep Throat. It's actually one of their more popular blushes to begin with, and I can totally see why. Backing up just a minute, Sex Fantasy is matte. And Deep Throat is kind of like a satin. It has shimmer, not quite as much shimmer as the highlighter one here. It definitely has a little bit of shimmer, gold shimmer, but not enough to be like, woo, disco ball, just like a really pretty shimmer. And then right up here is the blush called Final Cut. This one is also matte, and this one is more of like an orangey coral color. Definitely no pink in there. It's definitely very orangey coral. I think it would suit lots of different skin tones, and it is like super duper pigmented. I will let you guys know off the bat, this is probably the most versatile palette, but it is the most expensive of all three. This one is $65, but you get a lot for your money. You can get a lot of looks out of this. I think it's good for all different seasons. You have spring colors here. You have very like neutral, like every season colors. You have a bronzer here. I'm wearing the bronzer on my cheeks today, so you can see it isn't too dark, but it's not too light. It's just very, very pretty. And then the blush I'm wearing is Deep Throat. So if you've had your eye on a couple of NARS blushes or their bronzer, or you're looking for a very versatile gift for somebody, this one is a really, really good round. The last one is the Tarte Amazonian Clay palette. So this one is probably the most pigmented of all of the palettes that I bought. This one has 5 different blushes in it. So right here you can see the 5 different blushes. I have never seen any of these blushes available individually, and I am a Tarte Amazonian Clay blush fanatic. So I do not own, surprisingly, any of these in the individual palettes or little pans, and I've actually never seen any of these either, so I don't know if all of these are like limited edition specific to the palette or not. So the color range in this palette is awesome. So you can see you have some beiges here, like a wine berry color, all the way to your pinks and peaches. This one right here, the beige one is called Breathless. This one, I would not recommend using it as a bronzer just because it's not very pigmented, but it is a matte beige color. It is very, very pretty. It's nice if you're going for just like a very neutral or very light look. Maybe you have heavy lips, heavy eyes, something, and you don't want to overdo the cheeks. This is a really, really good route to go. Then you have the one next to it, which is a berry color called Embraced. This one is so pigmented. It is super pigmented. I think this would look really, really good for fall looks, winter looks. It'd be awesome paired with like a wine colored lip. Really, really pretty here. This one has teeny tiny like silver sparkles in it, but no glitter, just like a tiny bit of a sheen sparkle. Then this middle one right here is called Whimsy. This is such a pretty like baby doll Barbie pink color. This one is matte, so no shimmer, no sparkle. This one is absolutely gorgeous. I think this would be a very pretty spring color, or somebody who's just trying to bring like a very pretty youthful look to their cheeks. This is a really, really awesome one. Then you have this like orangey peach color next to it called Bashful. This one also is very similar to the wine colored one where it has teeny tiny, I think it's gold as opposed to silver in this one, flecks of sparkle in it. So not matte, but not shimmery or sparkly, just tiny, tiny shimmer in it. This one is very, very pretty. It's very, very pigmented. I personally am not the biggest fan of that particular color. It reminds me a lot of their blush called, what is it called? It's the new one that was there for the summertime. Captivating. It reminds me a lot of their blush Captivating. This one was available for the summertime and it looks a lot like that. Captivating is matte. This one is, what is it called? Bashful. Bashful is more, has a little bit of sparkle in it, but it's very similar in color. Last one down here is called Irreplaceable, and this one is kind of your like everyday, very similar to their Exposed blush. It's matte, no shimmer, no sparkle, no sheen, and it just has like that very pretty, like kind of everyday dusty rose mauve. I want to say it was about $42. It was in the 40 range. So this one was in the 40 range. Hourglass is in the 50 range. NARS is in the 60 range. This one is the most pigmented. and this one is probably the best value of all three palettes, but definitely it depends on what you're looking for. I hope that this kind of gave you some direction on which palette to buy. Buy them all if you can. They all are good in different ways, but I think my favorite of all of them is probably the Hourglass palette, just because I am obsessed with Hourglass products. I think they are such good quality. These blushes, there's something about them that gives you that like lit from within look that is very hard to achieve with any other blush. This one is probably my favorite formula, just very buttery, very long lasting, and then the NARS one is very versatile. Anyways, I hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, you know where to leave them. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye guys!